Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. That's depending where you are in the world. I'm in London. We're doing the nighttime devotion from the devotional Christ Triumphant. The title today, Satan Arranges Overpowering Temptations. The scripture reading is taken from Ecclesiastes 6:2. Those to whom God gives wealth, possessions, and honor, so that they lack nothing of all that they desire, yet God does not enable them to enjoy these things, but a stranger enjoys them. The life of Solomon is full of warning, not only to youth, but to those of mature years, and to the aged, those who are descending the hill of life and facing the western sun. We see and hear of unsteadiness in youth, the young wavering between right and wrong, and the current of evil passions proving too strong for them. But we do not look for unsteadiness and unfaithfulness in those of mature years. We expect the character to be established, the principles to be firmly rooted. In many cases, this is so, but there are exceptions, as with Solomon. When his strength should have been the firmest, he was found the weakest of men. We need to inquire at every step, is this the way of the Lord? As long as life shall last, there is need of guiding the affections and the passions with a firm purpose. There is inward corruption, there are outward temptations, and wherever the work of God shall be advanced, Satan plans to arrange circumstances so that temptation shall come with overpowering force upon the soul. Many have closed their eyes to danger and have gone on in their own way, infatuated, deluded by Satan until they fall under his temptations. Then they abandon themselves to despair. This was the history of Solomon. But even for him, there was help. He truly repented of his course of sin and found help. Let none venture into sin as he did, in the hope that they too may recover themselves. Sin can be indulged only at the peril of infinite loss. But none who have fallen need give themselves up for the despair. The misapplication of noble talents in Solomon's case should be a warning to all. Goodness alone is true greatness. Everyone will transmit a heritage of good or of evil. On the southern eminence of the Mount of Olives were the memorial stones of Solomon's apostasy. Josiah, the youthful reformer, in his religious zeal, destroyed these images of Ashtoreth and Chemosh and Moloch. But the broken fragments and masses of ruins remained opposite Mount Moriah, where stood the temple of God. As strangers in after generations asked, what mean these ruins confronting the temple of the Lord? They were answered, there is Solomon's mount of offense, where he built altars for idol worship to please his heathen wives. Satan arranges overpowering temptations. So once again, we're focusing on Solomon, the wisest, considered the most wisest, and then of course the most foolish or weakest, as it says. Solomon, who did everything God instructed him to do, until it got to the point where He was so full of himself, he decided to operate by himself, married into many heathen other tribes or kingdoms with heathen wives who brought their idol worship into Israel, into his kingdom, and he decided to start participating in their idol worship. And this is where it all went wrong. Every step of our way, we should be inquiring to God, is this what you want me to do? Or what would you want me to do? We can never look at Solomon and think, well, he went wrong, but then he came good at the end. And various other people in the Bible who went wrong and came good in the end. We can look at Abraham, who lied, but he was considered righteous. We can look at Moses, who disobeyed God, but he was considered good. We can look at various people. David, who killed so many people, but was considered a man after God's own heart. But we can never assume that we will walk in that same path, that we will come good in the end. We can't assume that. Never. Satan has got probably 10 million different temptations lined up for you individually, just for you, bespoke, from now until either Jesus comes or you are laid in the grave. And likewise with myself and everyone else. And those temptations will come one after the other in thick waves, just to keep you away from God, to take you away from God, and to keep you away from God. Can you put your hand on your heart and say your faith is that strong that you can just turn back to God when you feel like you want to? No. You don't know. You don't know where you're going to be tomorrow, what choices and decisions you will make tomorrow. Solomon, even though he supposedly came good in the end, there is still that reminder, those ruins near God's temple, where his idol worship, the altars of idol worship used to be. That's all still there. So whereas he came good in the end, there is still that legacy he left, that he turned to idols. Can you be so sure?